Hey, Sean, welcome to the Tuesday night live stream. This is one of those weeks where I it's not that I didn't want to do this stream or that I shouldn't do this stream, but tonight is a night where I have a lot of work that has piled up. I have due dates that are creeping extremely close, and like 4 different projects open at the same time, including 5 different projects, 2 of which just came onto the radar today and yesterday. So it's tough when I do what I do right now. Being a mostly full-time parent, I don't usually get a lot of time to work. I work for a couple hours in the afternoon if my son takes a good nap, and I work after he goes to bed at around 8:15. I work for a couple hours until I go to bed, and then maybe I get up early, but I don't have a ton of time usually. But it works. I fit my work life into these little windows, and it's been handy. But this is a week where the let's say there's 4 hours of work time that I get in a day, and this excludes all of the housework and things that need to be done and life that needs to take place as well. But of those 4 hours, to spend an hour of it streaming when that's already not enough time is rough. And so I was getting a little stressed today thinking about the stream because I don't want to miss a week. That's the whole thing. No hat tonight. No, we're going raw. That's a good point. I mean, I could grab one, but the point of this is vulnerability. But as I was thinking about this, I wanted to keep streaming because I like the routine. I like to say I haven't missed a week since I started doing this weekly back in November. Every Tuesday night at 8:30, there's been something, and I think some of them have been really cool and interesting. I think others have had more learning opportunities, I would say. And tonight was one where I was like, I'm stressed. I'm not in a good place. I don't feel like I'm composed, which I like to feel like when I'm creating, because when I'm flustered, and I made a couple videos about this recently, but when I'm flustered or when I'm rushing like on a shoot, that's when you make mistakes. That's when you take your eye off the ball and you start to stumble a little bit. And so I didn't want to do the stream because I had started to get a little uncomposed. I'd lost my composure with my edit, and the last things that I'm working on right now for these 2 upcoming deadlines are pretty nuanced artistic things, and nuanced artistic things are not my strong spot because I'm great at editing a pile of footage. If you give me something gorgeous, I can even shoot some stuff pretty well myself. But man, give me a pile of interview footage, I will turn it into a mountain of gold. That is what I do. That is what I do really well. Where I quickly start to crumble is when I have to put titles on screen. I'm very bad at putting titles on the screen. Anything that with like an animation, like design. I mean, it comes down to design. I am bad at designing things. I struggle to, within the confines of a program, or even if I had a blank sheet of paper, I struggle to think of like, oh, this would look cool. I can look at other stuff and with a camera put it together, and I can even emulate stuff like product photography. I'm getting better at, where yes, I'm starting with a blank slate and I'm putting the bottles there or whatever, but I'm emulating other things and other work that people have done. When I do that, I'm stealing like an artist. And this design point is where I struggle in videos. And so that's what's happening with these 2 videos that I'm working on right now. Is one is putting dancing animals on a screen, and I have the animation slides from a graphic designer that I need to put into this project, but I don't really know where they should go on screen. And there's the background, like the footage that these are being superimposed on top of, changes. And I am struggling to make it look good because this is not where I do well. And so I tell you that to tell you this: I need every bit of creative composure that I have to do this well enough that I can be satisfied with it. This isn't a place where you can put in a template from iMovie to say, oh, I put some titles on the screen. There's a lower third for you. But so with the need to be composed comes the need to not be rushed. and the need to not be rushed means I shouldn't be streaming. I've got work that I need to do, but this is important to me, and it's important to me as a creator and as I continue to grow to stream live. This is a stretch for me to do that. Every time I do this, I learn something about myself. I learn how to do something better, which is why I keep doing this. And I think it's easy to say, well, a stream, this one wouldn't be super, this isn't a tutorial, it's not a walkthrough, it wouldn't be super helpful for a viewer to watch this. And I hear myself saying that's not a good enough reason to not do something, just that it wouldn't be beneficial to the viewer. But sadly, that is what I'm saying right now is with these streams, I'm not trying to create the best content I can every week for the viewers, for you guys. And it's not that I'm just trying to, do something bad or waste some time just to have gone live. And it's this conflict, which is what caused me to stream this way tonight. And so as I've struggled with my inabilities as a designer in these projects, and as I've struggled with time this week and time management, I decided I would stream for 12 minutes. That's what I would give myself. And in these 12 minutes, I wanted to remind myself of some of the things that I've accomplished and some of the things that are happening, because I can quickly start to become frustrated and say that what I'm doing right now isn't, I'm bad at designing and I'm bad at time management. But when I zoom out quickly, there's two more projects that just popped onto my plate yesterday and today. And that's because I'm good at what I do. And I need to remind myself of that. And the reason my phone keeps ringing and the reason that people keep hiring me is because some people must think I'm good at this, even when I have my doubts. And that's something that it's important for me to remind myself of that. And odds are you need to remind yourself of that too. And if you don't need to remind yourself of that, then I envy the absolute unwavering confidence that you have walking through life. You have my hat is off to you this evening. But so I started to reflect on what are some of the things that I've accomplished lately, aside from just continuing to get work and repeat work from a couple of clients. And it's always special to get repeat work from clients. It's cool to find new clients, but new clients know they're taking a gamble with you. And yeah, it comes with, a recommendation or something. Like, it means something if you get new clients. But there's something really special about having a recurring relationship with a client where you do project after project where they trust you. And that's where I am this week. And I've had a couple of phone calls from clients that are just unsure of what to do. They've got some deadlines coming up in the end of April, and we need videos done for that. And at first they were like, there's a conference in April that my client needs some videos for. And they mentioned it to me, and they're like, they want my boss wants these in April, but I just don't think it's possible, so we're not going to worry about it. And I was like, actually, we can do that by the end of April. All we need, and I have the experience to say, to make the video you're describing, all I need is one day of filming around this stuff, and then we're editing it. It's not even interviews or voiceover or anything. It's just a splash video that's going to play on this massive screen at a conference. Like, there's not even going to be really audio to it. And so knowing that we could do this with very limited production time and it wouldn't be that stressful, it's exciting for me to get that work. But it was a reassurance to my client that I know what I'm doing. I'm not figuring this out as I do it. I mean, I am, but I've figured a lot of this out before, and I'm drawing on this experience. And so it's important for me to realize that even though sometimes I lose my composure, that the experience that I've gained is helpful and it is useful to my clients. And the reason they hire me is because I solve these problems, because I've solved these problems before, and I keep a cool head for the most part, maybe a little self-degrading from time to time, but outwardly facing. And overall with these projects, in the end, I may lose an extra little bit of sleep. I may be in not the greatest of mood for a short while, but I'm going to deliver something that I'm proud of. And that's what matters to the client. And when I was watching something, somebody left a comment on a video that I made in December on the 13th anniversary of Boom Reactive, and it was called 3 Lessons in 13 Years, and it's the creative lessons I learned. But I was talking to somebody who's we'll call them an executive, the CEO of an organization that I'm connected to, and we were having this discussion, and the CEO expressed worry that they could be released, and the CEO is doing a great job, and everyone likes the CEO, but they shared with me this vulnerability of, let me know if everyone is silently turning against me. And I'm paraphrasing all of this, but it was this humbling experience to realize, like, man, this person is on top of their game. They are sought after for what they do, and they are leading an exemplary organization to new heights. And if they're having the same doubts about, like, hey, does everybody hate me? Like, at what point is this just going to turn around and fall apart and blow up in my face? Good leaders have that. That's a part of being a good leader. A good creative is just checking in with yourself and having doubt and exploring it and giving yourself the information and equipping yourself, giving yourself the context to realize that, hey, things are pretty good. And I sent him that video because in it, I stumbled upon something. I ad-lib most of my videos, and sometimes things come out of my mouth that surprise me. And the one that I said in there was, it's important to remind myself that my clients are rooting for me, and your clients are rooting for you. You are not something that is standing between you and your client. You are not something standing between your client and what they want. You are something standing behind your client, pushing them toward what they need. And so don't be afraid of client calls and client relationships, because at the end of the day, they want you to be successful as much as you want to be successful. And that is what I'm reminding myself of tonight. Thanks for hanging out. That's all I got. That's 12 minutes of positive reinforcement. Have a wonderful evening. See you next week.